Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you all join me. I got here a little bit early just to make sure I got everything set up. So if you are viewing from my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Facebook, so excited that you are here to kick this event off with me today. So we are going to dive in shortly for personal branding for Q4. And I am so excited to share this content with you all. Also working from two screens today, so please definitely bear with me as we go through this process to make sure that I get you everything you need. I'm going to have comments in the comment box, so definitely feel free to do that as well. And we will get started right at the top of the hour. We will get started right at the top of the hour. As you are coming in the room, please let me know that you are here. As you're coming in the LinkedIn Live, let me know that you are here. Drop your name or comment. And also let me know if you can hear me. This is my first time doing uh, LinkedIn Live, so I want to make sure that everything is working. Stop cam for a second. Hello, hello, hello. As you are coming in, drop me a wave or a hi. So glad y'all are joining me. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. If you can hear me, please drop me a comment so I can make sure. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. Welcome in, welcome in. I wish I could see who is here, so please let me know that you are here. Let me know. I'm trying to figure out why I can't see the comments. Here. All right, so welcome in. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. Welcome in. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. Got about 2 minutes left, and then we're going to get started in the interest of time as people are joining in. Hello, Mary. Thank you. Can you hear me as well? Great to see you this morning. Great to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning. I see Deanna. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we're going to start in just another minute. Going to give a few more people a jump on. And y'all, if 10 a.m. Eastern is terrible for a time to do these, let me know if evenings are better. Definitely want to adjust to make sure maximum impact over here. Nope, I think that's Cynthia. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. I hope y'all are doing well today. All right, one more minute and we are going to get started. And if you are joining me from my YouTube or my Facebook, good morning as well. If you have any questions or comments, definitely email me, Stewart@thesagestewart.com, because if you're joining from those platforms, then that means you're not on my LinkedIn right now. So I'm broadcasting live across all 3 of my platforms this morning. Good morning, Deanna. Good morning. All right, so we're going to get started with branding. So this is actually the first of a series that I am doing, and it's going to be specifically around branding, but also helping you get ready for Q4. So today I'm going to talk about brand and brand auditing, like the foundational part. Next week, I'm going to be bringing in a sales expert to talk about how to leverage your brand in sales as you get ready to package or repackage your offerings. The following week, I'm bringing in a marketing expert and then also a copywriting expert as well. So I wanted to make sure that this learning series is as robust as possible to make sure that all of you all are set up for success in your business as we, end the year, and then also help you get positioned for 2025. So a lot of what brand people talk about is, be your best authentic self, right? I think we've all heard that. Be your best self, be your authentic self, and then the clients will come. Or maybe you've even heard like, don't worry about your personal brand, just build your business. And there's a lot of misinformation from well-intentioned experts about what branding is. Or maybe you're the school of thought where you thought that your brand was simply your logo or the design. Well, I want us to start thinking differently about brand, because the future of business is personal branding. And I think we're seeing that with the rise of social influencers, with the rise of micro influencers and people who are making really big waves on social media. And it's not that they had this big, fabulous, amazing product. It's that people were connected to who they are, their brand, and what they talked about. And so today I want to invite you all to start thinking a little differently about the brand that you represent and how you can start making some really intentional moves to connect to the people who need you the most. There are also some people who saw my 10:15 post and are like, Sybil, I am just here for the comments. I just want to know what the heck's happening on 10:15. So if that is you, I will talk a little bit more about what 10:15 is and why that date is special and how you can participate if you so choose. But I am positive that each of you are here today because you want to figure out, like, is this branding thing for me? And how can I do this? How can I make sure that I built my brand with intention? So here's what I want you all to do before I begin is I want you to take about 30 seconds and write down that Q4 goal that you've got, whatever it is, and be super specific. Is it a dollar amount you're trying to hit? Is there a number of clients you want to make sure you reach? Is it a new marketing campaign or new product launch or whatever that is? Go ahead, take a few seconds and write that down. Maybe you want to learn how to get pre-booked to speak like me and some of the other coaches that I partner with. Whatever that is, take a few moments and write that down, and then ask yourself, what 3 resources? Good morning, Kim. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. And ask yourself, what 3 resources do you require to make that goal that you just wrote down happen? What 3 resources, if they were presented today, would help you achieve that goal? And so for those of you curious about 1015, that's what 1015 is about. It's about providing those exact resources that you just wrote down to help you achieve that goal that you just wrote down. So if you're interested in getting whatever those resources are, and y'all, I am resourceful, I am highly resourced, and I have a team of coaches, consultants, business strategists, and people at the ready to help you achieve whatever that is. So if that is you, one thing that you need to do is just DM me, YES, like put yes, and I will make sure that you get set up for success. And I will say this, there are only 12 women that we're partnering with because we want to make sure that whatever it is you do is going to work. So the first 12 women who are like, yes, Sybil, here's my goal. Here's what I want to do. This is a sooner problem, not a later problem. 1015, we will make sure that you have a spot to get everything you need to continue to amplify what you're doing in your business. But enough about me. Let's talk about y'all and why we are here. I want to start by saying that, disclaimer again, for the people dialing in on YouTube or Facebook, please email me and we will go from there. But let's talk about your strategic branding process. So often we think branding processes require an upheaval of everything we've worked on, or we have this concern that if we start to brand with intention, we're going to ruin our reputation. Well, thank you. Or maybe we've experienced the weight of a failed branding attempt. Like, here's the brand we thought we were supposed to build. We invested time, money, and energy, and it just did not work. Well, I want to let you all know that it is the work that I do. It's the mission that I am on because I went through all of that. It is how this global HR executive turned herself into a global keynote speaker and brand architect, right? I truly believe that the best thing we could do is be the teacher that we needed. Thank you. To be the teacher that we needed. And the best way to do that is to share my story and my lessons learned and how they can apply to you. So I did it through branding. And through asking myself some really specific and strategic questions that will help me not only leverage my HR background and expertise, but then all of the other things that I am passionate about. So if you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur on this call, you don't want to have to feel forced into a box or choose or niche down, then I want to tell you that a strategic branding process might be the solution that you have been looking for. And there's some common myths about branding that are being spread in the universe, right? And I think that some of them are myths, and some of them are things that have worked for some people that simply have not worked for those of us who are experts in our field. And I also want to say, if y'all have any questions, I'm actively watching the chat to the best of my ability. So please, feel free to stop me if you've got a question. But some myths about branding that I myself also believed as I was going through this process was that branding was a sign of self-promotion. How many of us have heard that branding is self-promotion, right? That is bad media. Branding is not about self-promotion. It's about connection. How many different connection points can I make to the people who need to hear from me the most? That is what branding is. Anything else is not branding. Anything else is fake news, okay? The second myth about branding that I see a lot of experts fall into this trap is they believe that I must be an expert at everything. I want to invite you to think differently about your expertise because you are an expert, but I want you to think about this. Your 80%, whatever that is somebody else's 20%. And it is your job to build a brand that helps serve that 20%. Okay. The thing is, when you start serving the people who have 20% of your information, you start expanding your base of knowledge anyway. All right. So this is not a limiting thing. This is an expansive thing because as you teach, you're going to learn and grow. And that means you get to expand your suite of offerings. You get to expand how your brand shows up, and you get to expand who you serve and how you serve and what your highest skill set is. And so often I work with experts who say, well, I've only been doing this one thing. This is one thing I'm known for. And I want to challenge you today to say that while you stay true to your core, your brand should expand and it should evolve over time. And the methods that I'm going to talk about over the next few weeks are exactly that, how you expand your brand while staying true to your core message and who you are and who you desire to serve. I also want to think about it like this, right? Like none of us are Olympians, right? None of us are Simone Biles, but somebody taught us how to do a cartwheel. They were not an expert. What did they have? They had the 80% that our 20% did not have. The next thing that I want to suggest is being authentic is overrated. That is another huge myth that I find people are challenged with. You do not need to be authentic. What you need to be is aware. You need to be aware of your clients' challenges and problems and how you are the right woman for the job. And then the last thing is branding yourself should not be or ever feel like a reinvention process. If that's what it feels like, then you're doing branding the wrong way. It should never feel like something that is not organically you. Branding is about amplification, not about redoing anything because you're already awesome. One of the things that I walk through with all of my clients is a 10,000 hours exercise because so often what we think we're giving people is not what they actually need. And so I want to invite you that if you are an expert, what else are you an expert in? What else have you spent 10,000 hours developing in? And then figure out how to package that as a part of your brand. The next thing I want to dive into today is this clarity word, right? Because everyone's like, oh, you just got to be clear and clarity and be the clear. But nobody actually says what clarity is or does or how you get clear. And then you have really well-intentioned people that say, oh, just know who you are. Well, a lot of us are challenged with knowing who we are because we went in systems that told us who we had to be, right? The expat from corporate, right? Like I used to be in corporate who told me how to walk and dress and talk and be. And now I've got to figure out this new version of me that was probably muted or not valued. And so I want to invite us today to think about clarity in a new way and suggest to you that clarity is your ability to state, restate, and simplify your message. Okay. There is a reason that the newspapers that we read today are written at like a 3rd to 7th grade level. It's because they know simplicity is what sells. And the more simple you are able to boil down your message, the more clear you're going to be. Another challenge with clarity is that we assume we've communicated effectively. Well, let's focus on comprehension. Clarity is not enough. People can know, like, and trust you, but if they don't comprehend what you're saying, then they are not going to engage with your brand in the way that you want them to. So it's your job to figure out how to never speak a foreign language to your ideal audience again. Another thing that I see a lot of my experts do is they fall into the trap of helping and serving everyone and they have way too many ICPs. Now, if you don't know what an ICP is, it's your ideal customer, right? Like these are your buyer personas that you go after. I remember partnering with a lady and she has something like 10 ICPs. And I said, you're in the business by yourself. There's no way that if tomorrow the bucket overflows, you'll be able to serve in every single capacity that people are asking you to. So if this is you and you've got 10 ICPs, I want to invite you to boil it down to 1 or 2. And if you have 2, there needs to be some real overlap to what those ICPs look like. Okay. There needs to be some overlap to those ICPs. Here's what having 10 buyer personas look like, even if you're clear, right? You got 10 buyer personas. There's only 7 days in the week. So what do? On Monday, you talk to buyer 1. On Tuesday, you talk to buyer 2. On Wednesday and Thursday, you try to talk to buyers 3, 4, and 5. On Thursday or Friday, you realize you're running out of room. You got to hurry up to talk to buyers 8, 9, and 10. And then by Saturday, you're exhausted from creating content because on Sunday, you got to rework it and start all over again. And this is what a lot of people are doing. They're casting their net really wide to capture all of their buyer personas instead of saying, this is my brand. This is the one or two people I am going to serve. And here's how I am going to serve them. Clarity comes in a lot of different forms. You might be clear on the problem that you solve. You might be clear on the solution you solve. You might be clear on the industry you solve. So don't think that clarity means I only do this thing based off of what everyone else says. It might be how you solve that problem. Maybe you're faster, maybe you're cheaper, maybe you're better, maybe you're quicker. Whatever that differentiating thing is, that's your clarity that you want to seek as you message your brand. Okay. Another thing that I see is that women have an impeccable message, but they are on the wrong platform. Not everybody's client is on LinkedIn. Not everyone's client is on YouTube. Not everyone's client is on Facebook. So not only knowing your audience, but where your audience lives is going to help you get the clarity that you desire, so that when you're going through this brand audit that we're going to talk about in a few, you know exactly where to place your message. Okay. You don't want to be screaming into the trees when really you should be at the beach. That's not what you want. That is a really horrible analogy. Y'all, I came up with that one just now, right? But you see what I'm saying? You don't want to be screaming to somebody to do something and you have the perfect clear message, but your audience is someplace else. I was coached, and like I said, y'all, this is the this is the behind the scenes of how Sybil landed here today. I was coached to create a quarterly membership by my first coach. My first coach said, you know what's really effective? Memberships. Why? Because that's what she did. That's what she loved. She loved memberships. Here's the thing. I don't like quarterly memberships. I prefer a deeper level of accountability. So I was not bought in to the thing that I had built. No wonder my message suffered. It's because I didn't have believability for me in what it was I was offering. I was like, no, I like a better approach. I like a high touch approach. And she was like, oh, no, you don't want to do that. You know, you want to take the easy road to membership. I don't like memberships. My membership did not work. The next thing that happened as I am building my book of business to now be who I am today is I was coached to create courses. And this is no offense against course creators. I think courses are fabulous. But I knew I don't actually like courses. My success rate and the success rate of so many people, and this is like research, courses only have about a 20% success rate. And I thought to myself, why would I create something where my clients are only potentially going to get 20% victory, right? Like I want to push the boundaries. I want them to have better. And so that's why I created the 10-15 experience, where research says if you're in community with other individuals, you got an 85% chance of success. Those are the numbers I want to play with. And so when you think about how you're modeling your business and how you're communicating what you do you believe in that product that you're selling? If not, clarity will always suffer, regardless of how amazing that product is. Another thing that I recognized why women lack clarity, and these are one of the things that I want to challenge you to do when we are offline and off camera with your audit, is to say, am I afraid of being misunderstood? Is there something that I am afraid to stand on when it comes to my value system because I've been shunned for it in the past? I want to suggest to you today, and this is a Sybilism, okay? The worst thing you can do for your business is augment your values to the values of people who don't value you. That's the worst thing you can do for your business. Ask me how I know. This is the worst thing you can do, is edit your values to adopt the values of other people, and you don't believe in their value system and they're not going to value what it is you do. It's the worst thing you can do. So stand on clarity, stand on your core values, and stand on the fact that whatever you're offering is amazing. Some statistics for those of you all who are hesitant about stepping all the way in, because Bold Women Brand, y'all see my tag here, 82% of modern day buyers are seeking to buy from thought leaders in their industry. There is a reason why I aggressively went after my LinkedIn top voice for brand strategy. It is because I know that the people who want brand strategy are looking for somebody who is a thought leader in industry. And LinkedIn was like, yes, you figured it out. You did the pivot the right way. You are official. 91% of buyers expect various types of content before they interact with you. Various type of content does not mean content that makes you uncomfortable. If you are more comfortable with a teaching platform, if you're more comfortable with videos or podcasts or carousels or reels or whatever that is, varied content. Pick your favorite 4 types of content and produce those over and over and over again. I happen to like being on camera, which is a good thing since I'm a brand architect, right? Find those mediums that work for you and then leverage what you already do naturally. I think so often brand strategists will try to force you outside of what you do well. When I'm saying lean in, if you know you love to talk, do a podcast, host YouTube, whatever that is. If you love to write, author a book, do some guest posting, write for other articles, be contributing to the newspaper, right? Think about how many varied experiences you can provide your people so they can find you. 46% of your clients expect the same type of content to be delivered across mediums before they make a decision. They are looking for you to be their voice. They are looking for understanding, right? The biggest mistake that I see people say is assuming the brand is about you. Y'all, my brand is not about me. It is about y'all. There is something that you either saw that I did or said or was or showed up in a place or space where you said, you know what? That Sybil woman, I'm going to allow her some of my time on this Wednesday at 10 a.m. to talk to me some more. That would not have happened if I didn't create the space for you to see who I am on or off social, right? So how did this happen? How does this look? That's right. Stand on clarity. Do not be hesitant to stand on clarity. And this is early work. I want to say, and thank you, Dr. Kim, for saying that. Clarity beats everything else. And there are coaches who specialize in clarity. I don't specialize in clarity. I specialize in helping you amplify once you are clear. There are people who love the clarity coaching aspect. I am a consultant. So what I want are those very specific outcomes after you're clear about what you tell me. Because if you tell me, I'm going to say it's true. Like the worst thing you can do is tell me your dream because I'm going to make sure you make this thing happen. So now for the audit, here's what happened. I got to a place in my corporate career and I asked myself this really hard question. And I want you all to ask yourselves this question too as well. And I also tell all of my clients to ask themselves this question, especially if they're teetering on how hard they want to go in on their brand, like really lean in. My life and business would be filled with joy and nonstop. Oh, my life and business would be filled with joy nonstop if my clients were. Okay. And then fill in the blank. And when I filled in that blank and I realized that the corporate experience that I had was none of the above, it's like, it's time to leave. Right. Because at the end of the day, my corporate clients were my clients, even though I was on the payroll, right? I was paid to do a job. They were in essence my clients. And when I said my life and business would be filled with joy nonstop if my clients were, and it was none of the things that I was experiencing, I was like, okay, I got to check out. I got to go. But that's the same thing that I built my brand on. And I said, my life and business would be filled with joy if my clients valued everything that I have to give them. If they understand that I am their champion, if they understand that this is the work that we're going to do to help you do the things that you want to do, right? So when you're thinking about your brand clarity, I want you to fill in that blank, okay? And then start with your core values. So what should you review? And I totally invite all of you all to come back next week. I invite questions if you have any. I promised myself that I would go on for exactly 30 minutes. I got 8 minutes left. I'm going to as a great speaker, I'm going to end early so that I leave room for questions. But what should you review? As you begin your brand audit, there are several key elements that deserve your attention. And this is a list, not exhaustive, of places that I recommend you start. Number one, your core values. Your core values feed everything else you do. Your core values feed your personal brand. Your core values feed your content pillars. Your core values feed your brand content. Okay, your brand values. Next, review your USP, your unique selling proposition. And this is especially for my women who have been in business for a longer time. If you have not changed your value statement, then that means that you are in essence leaving a part of your brand on the table, right? Because you've gained some knowledge between the day when you started your business and where you are today. So how can you repackage that knowledge and reach some additional audiences? Who do you need to stop serving? I know nobody wants to hear that today. Who do you need to stop serving so you can serve those other people even more efficiently and effectively? Look at your brand story. Are there parts of your brand story that you've been hiding, that your core audiences are looking for you to talk about more, or to share more, or to do some behind the scenes work with? Look at your logo and website. Right now we're looking at visuals, right? Do you have a learning brand? You want to use learning colors, right? Color psychology. Learning colors are blue and yellow. Do you have a bolder brand like I do, where you do use contrast, black, whites, salmons and pinks? Think about how those are even sending messages to your audience. Look at your sales tools and processes. How are you bringing people into your community, into your sphere, into your funnel? Look at your PR. What does your reputation say about you? Can somebody Google you? What happens when you look at the first page of Google? Are there things that need to be pushed to the second page because no one's going to click to the second page? Can somebody find you at all? Right? And then ask yourself, does this align with my life and business statement? If I am going to have joy in my life and business, does all of these things align? How many ICPs do you have? How many ideal clients do you have? Hey, Chanel, good morning. How many ICPs do you have? Again, if you got 10, that's too many. I need to get down to 1 or 2, and there needs to be overlap if there is more than one. Okay, serving everybody means serving nobody. What this will do is provide a foundation for building your message as we enter into the fall. I have literally had clients, and we've done their brand audit. And after we've done their brand audit, they were able to blow up their social media. And I'm not talking about like a couple thousand people. I'm talking like she said she had 80,000 followers after a couple months after doing exactly what I told her to do. What would that look like for you to have that type of engagement with your brand and your product and your process? How will that change your business for Q4? So your homework is to think, if I had only one thing I could tell my clients for the next decade, what is that thing going to be? Does it reflect my core values? And does it reflect my life and business joy statement? Now, next week, because y'all are going to do your brand audit, y'all are going to come back even more energized. Next week, we're going to do sales and branding and talk about how to leverage your brand inside your sales before the end of the year. Okay. When I started doing this process, my content writing went from like 3 hours of pain to under 30 minutes, where I'm like doing some of the best posts I've ever made. And people are like, wow, this is fire. And I'm like, oh, good. It took me 5 minutes. So I'll go pause there with 3 minutes left for questions. What questions do you all have? What questions you all have? Thank you so much for joining. What questions you all have? I promised I was going to be quick. Boom, there it is. What questions or comments do y'all have? And Chanel's actually our coach for sales for next week. So I hope y'all make sure to connect with her on LinkedIn. She's absolutely fabulous. So make sure y'all connect with her. Any questions? I'm going to leave the line open for 3 minutes. And if not, again, type YES if you want that 1015 experience. 12 ladies, 1015 is going down. I will leave the line open for 2 more minutes. If not, y'all have a fabulous, fabulous day. Thank you for joining me. And I will be sure to send out the invites for next week's experience. Also, if you need the brand audit, I forgot to mention that it is in my featured on my LinkedIn. So when you go on my LinkedIn profile, there's no, barriers to entry, none of that foolishness. Click the link, download the brand audit. Right? Try to make this as easy as possible for y'all to be successful. All right. Well, it's been real. I will see y'all next week. And if 10 a.m. does not work, I'm going to try for a different to see if we have some more people in the evening. But bye for now.